days after some nasty alien invaders have wiped out the majority of humanity and taken control of Earth. Although these animals are blind, they have keen hearing and an impenetrable coat of armor. We are introduced to a family among the few survivors who cautiously make their way through a deserted supermarket in quest of necessary supplies. The mother, Evelyn Abbott, meticulously searches through a number of untouched prescription bottles in an effort to locate medicine for her ailing eldest son, Marcus. The family uses sign language exclusively and takes great care to keep noise levels as low as possible. Regan, her deaf daughter, and Beau, her youngest son, are traveling with Evelyn. The youngster enjoys drawing on the ground and has a tendency to be a little mischievous. Beau finds a toy space shuttle on a shelf while gathering supplies, and he makes an effort to reach it by ascending a stool. To everyone's horror, the toy falls off the shelf, but Regan quickly grabs it before it lands. While this is going on, Lee Abbott, the father, arrives at the store and begins to collect some technical accessories that would help extend the range of a new radio he has bought. However, he forbids Beau from playing with the space shuttle toy because of the noise it would produce if turned on. Soon after, Evelyn gives the family the go-ahead to go because it will soon grow dark. Regan gives Beau the toy back in secret as they are ready to leave but without the batteries. Beau nevertheless retrieves the batteries undetected. In order to avoid stepping on crunchy leaves, the family then quietly makes their way home while treading carefully on a route they had constructed out of the sand. Beau puts the batteries in the toy when he gets to a pedestrian bridge, accidentally turning it on and making loud noises. This horrifies the entire family. Lee hurriedly runs after his son, but it is too late. An evil alien entity arrives in a split second and steals the young boy from Lee's arms. Beau the child is murdered in front of his family. Next, a year has passed, and the Abbott family is seen at their farmhouse. They appear to have forgotten the horrible event. Currently, several months into her pregnancy, Evelyn is doing everything she can to protect her family. In order to make touch with any remaining survivors, Lee has set up a monitoring system in the basement that includes cameras, monitors, a radio, and several other technical devices. Marcus unintentionally knocks over a lamp one evening when the family is playing a game of Monopoly, causing it to break and start a small fire. The family waits for the threat to materialize while Lee rushes quickly to put out the flames. They then hear a loud noise coming from the roof a short while later. Lee looks out the window, shocked but glad to see that it was just a raccoon that had fallen from the ceiling. He then makes his way down into the basement to finish developing a cochlear implant processor that will improve his daughter's hearing. Later, Evelyn comes down with him, and they have a tender moment together. They are dancing slowly while wearing headphones, fully oblivious to the chaos that has upended their lives. The following morning, Lee is observed adding sand to the designated walking areas in front of their house to make sure their steps are silent. As her due date for labor approaches in a few weeks, Evelyn checks her blood pressure while caring for her health in the cellar. When she applies a stethoscope to her belly, the unborn child's heartbeat can be clearly heard as being strong and healthy. Regan then expresses her wish to descend down the basement as she gingerly enters the house, only treading on the designated areas of the floor that are soundproof. Her father steps in, though, and stops her from doing so. Then he gives her a brand new cochlear implant processor that has more amplifiers. Regan refuses to wear them because she thinks they are ineffective. She puts it in her pocket and heads out after her father insisted that she give them a try. Later on that day, Lee makes the decision to go fishing, and he asks Marcus to join him. The young child is afraid and hesitates to join. Evelyn persuades him, nevertheless, by pointing him that his father wants to give him valuable future skills. Regan also states that she wants to go with them, but Lee tells her to stay and take care of her mother. The young girl is disappointed by this choice, so she later packs her belongings and departs the home. The father and son team arrives at the river in the following scene, where Lee gives a crucial explanation. He claims that making mild noises is fine as long as stronger noises are also present. After that, they head to a waterfall where they can talk openly without worrying about being overheard. Marcus even yells loudly, something he has never done in his entire life. Regan, on the other hand, travels to the same bridge where her brother was fatally injured a year earlier. When she gently cuts a wire on the space shuttle toy, it starts to glow and make noise. She pulls out the toy and cuts the wire. She then abandons it in the hopes that her deceased brother can use it in heaven. On their way home, Lee and Marcus are surprised by an elderly guy who suddenly emerges from the bushes. Lee tries to approach the man but stops when he sees an old woman's corpse, possibly the man's wife. Lee asks the man to be silent, but he unhappily screams loudly after becoming frightened. Lee snatches his son and quickly hides behind a tree as he is filled with terror. The old man is instantly killed the following instant by a dangerous alien entity. Evelyn's water breaks when she is at home alone in the interim. She tries to remain calm, descending to the basement. As she does so, she steps on an exposed nail sticking out of the stairs by accident, yelling in pain and dropping a picture frame as a result, breaking it on the ground. The alien entities are made aware of her presence by the loud noise. After freeing her foot from the nail somehow, she goes to the basement to turn on the system of red light bulbs that have been installed all around their property to serve as a warning signal. After that, Evelyn makes an attempt to go upstairs but finds that one of the creatures has already entered the building. It soon makes its way into the basement, where she is running for cover out of panic. Evelyn puts an egg timer as a distraction as she runs out of time. The strategy succeeds, and the creature rushes upstairs as soon as its focus is diverted. She manages to get to the restroom, where she starts the birthing process. After some time, Lee and Marcus find the lit red lights when they get home. Lee delivers Marcus a firecracker and asks him to light it in an effort to scare the animals away after realizing that his wife is in danger. Marcus goes to a preset location, lights the fuse, and as a distraction strategy, fires off a series of fireworks despite the dangers involved. As a result, Evelyn can finally scream because she is no longer able to bear the pain of her contractions. Lee enters the house shortly after grabbing his shotgun. He finds an empty bathtub in the bathroom that has been stained with his wife's blood. He is so devastated that he initially thinks Evelyn has passed away. However, his distress quickly gives way to relief when he sees her safe and cradling his infant son in the shower. Then, overcome with emotion, Lee clings to his wife. Marcus, who is returning to the house, notices a thing as he approaches it. He rushes through a cornfield in an effort to get away, but he accidentally runs into a tractor wheel and is knocked out. When Regan, who had been relaxing beside the memorial, sees the fireworks show, she hastily turns around and heads back towards her house. She follows Marcus' flashlight beam as it emerges from the cornfield but is oblivious to the approaching thing behind her. Regan's cochlear implant processor, nevertheless, starts to make high-pitched feedback as the thing approaches. The creature suffers excruciating pain as a result, which forces it to flee. Regan finds her scared brother at that precise moment and gives him a firm embrace. The two then make their way to the top of a grain silo where they light a signal fire in an effort to let nearby farmers know they are there. Lee, on the other hand, brings his wife and their infant to a secret hiding hole in the barn's floor. There, he gently straps an oxygen mask on the infant and places him in a crib that is soundproof. Water continues to trickle into the cellar as Lee leaves to look for their missing children. Later, when Evelyn awakens, she finds that the cellar has flooded and, to make matters worse, a creature has entered the space. She carefully takes up her infant and slips to the rear of the cellar, hiding behind the waterfall that is flooding the space. Marcus and Regan are still perched atop the silo, waiting impatiently for their father to show up. Marcus suddenly falls inside the silo after a hatch on the structure cracks, almost getting crushed by a metal door. Regan bravely jumps as she sees her brother in danger, pushing the hatch rapidly in his direction so he can reach it. Regan, though, starts to blend into the grain as a result. Marcus manages to climb onto the hatch and rescues his sister just when it looks like she will die a horrific death. The siblings then climb up to a safe vantage point above the silo door, but just then, they hear a smash above them. It turns out to be the very same animal from the cellar, drawn by the noises of the silo. However, Regan's cochlear implant makes a piercing noise once more, prompting the beast to recoil in pain and run away. After that, Lee is finally reunited with Regan and Marcus as they leap from the silo. Their joy, however, is short-lived as they hear the menacing roar made by the approaching beast. Lee tells the kids to hurry up and get in his truck so they may ride back home in it. He then prepares an axe as a weapon to fight the beast. Sadly, he is attacked, which causes Marcus to cry in terror. The beast is drawn to the sound and turns to the truck, where it begins shredding it viciously. Regan's cochlear implant starts to transmit its searing feedback once more, but because she doesn't realize its significance, she chooses to turn it off. The beast can now strike the truck with all of its might thanks to this. Lee, who is hurt, stands up and realizes that his kids are in danger. Lee decides to take severe action after realizing that they will perish if he does nothing soon. One more time, he stares at his daughter and expresses his love to her through sign language. The creature's attention is then diverted by his loud shout, allowing his children to flee. The truck's brakes are instantly released by Regan and Marcus, who then drive it back to the house to meet their mother. Lee is destroyed and in bits. The next scene finds Evelyn and the kids hiding in the basement as they continue to hear a nearby creature scream. There, Regan learns that her late father spent a lot of time and effort researching cochlear implants to aid her. The moment the lights start to flicker, motion. Soon after, something appears in the basement. Regan looks through her father's handwritten notes and comes upon one that asks, "What is their weakness?" Evelyn is prepared with a shotgun. This is when she finally realizes that her hearing aid has the ability to weaken the beast. She then removes her cochlear implant and smashes it against a microphone, causing the creature's head to twist in pain before collapsing. The increased sound reveals the wounded creature's delicate inner tissue, revealing its skull as it fights to regain its balance. Taking advantage of the situation, Evelyn shoots the beast and explodes its head. Regan and Evelyn watch the security camera displays as additional animals approach the house while Marcus and the infant take cover in a corner. As Evelyn cocks the shotgun with a smile on her face, Regan intensifies the sound and increases the microphone, giving them a sense of empowerment as a result of their newfound understanding of how to fight back.